Statistical quality control. Before going to the topic statistical quality control, you should know what is statistics. Statistics deals with science of numbers. Statistical quality control means control of product quality by using statistical tools and techniques. SQC relies on theory of probability. SQC is the term used to describe the set of statistical tools used by quality professionals. SQC is a quality control system using statistical techniques such as control charts, check sheets, sampling, etc. are used to determine the quality is as per quality standards. Okay, so SQC means control of product quality by using statistical tools and techniques. Okay, SQC is a quality control system using statistical techniques such as control charts, check sheets, sampling, etc. used to determine the quality is as per quality standards. Okay, classification of SQC. Statistical quality control can be divided into three broad categories: descriptive statistics, statistical process control, and acceptance sampling. Descriptive statistics are used to describe quality characteristics and relationships. It includes statistics such as mean, standard deviation, the range, and a measure of the distribution of data. Okay. Although the description of certain characteristics are helpful, they are not enough to help us evaluate whether there is a problem with quality. For this, the third classification, acceptance sampling, can be helpful. That means the accepting sampling can be helpful to evaluate whether there is a problem with quality or not. So acceptance sampling help us decide whether desirable quality has been achieved for a batch of products and whether to accept or reject the items produced. So acceptance sampling helps us whether to accept or reject the items produced. Okay, although this information is helpful in making quality acceptance decisions after the product has been produced, it does not help us identify a quality problem during production process. Okay, for this we need tools in the SPC category. Okay, so the SPC, statistical process control, is very much helpful in identifying a quality problem during the production process. SPC, statistical process control, involves inspecting random sample of the output from a process and deciding whether the process is producing products with characteristics that fall within a predetermined range. So SPC answers the question of whether the process is functioning properly or not. Okay, so I am concluding. Descriptive statistics are used to describe quality characteristics. The acceptance sampling, it is used to evaluate whether there is a problem with quality. And the SPC, statistical process control, helps us to identify a problem, helps us to identify a quality problem during the production process. Okay. Advantages. Next, advantages of statistical quality control. It improves certain factors. That means the statistical quality control SQC improves product quality, product design, production rate, employees morale. I'm repeating the advantage of SQC. It improves product quality, product design, production rate, employees morale. SQC also reduces some characteristics. Okay, it reduces scrap, production cost, inspection cost, bottlenecks of production. I'm repeating, the SQC reduces scrap, production cost, inspection cost, bottlenecks of production. Okay, next, we should know variability. The descriptive statistics are used to describe certain quality characteristics such as central tendency and variability of observed data. So in descriptive statistics, that's a part of statistical quality control, it deals with the central tendency, that is the data or the characteristics we have taken has a tendency of repeating in a certain manner, and the tendency is like that, it is an average. Okay, so if you are taking the average, some portion has more density, or it will be closer to some data. That is the central tendency. And the variability is that it will deviate from that central tendency. Okay, so variability. What are the reasons for variability? That we are discussing here. What is variability? Variability is the extent to which a measured characteristic deviates from the expected value. That means in a production system, we have an expected value as output, but there may be variation in that. Okay, that variation or the extent of that variation is called variability. So variability is the extent to which a measured characteristic deviates from the expected value. It is the dispersion or spread of a measured attribute about the most common value of that attribute. Okay, it is the dispersion or spread of a measured attribute about the most common value of that attribute. Okay, the variability can be classified into two types: inherent variability or natural availability. Inherent variability or natural availability. These are variations due to chance causes or random variations. Okay. Next one is unnatural variability. These are variations due to assignable causes. We should concentrate on these two terms. What are that? First one is variation due to chance causes. We should know what is chance cause. Okay. Next one is variation due to assignable causes. Okay. First one, the assignable cause. What do you mean by this assignable cause? Assignable causes are causes which can be easily traced or detected. Okay. Unnatural variability deals with assignable causes. Okay, these assignable causes are causes which can be easily traced or detected. they possess great magnitude. Okay. Assignable causes may be due to difference among machines, difference among workers, difference among materials, etc. These assignable causes can be detected and can be eliminated. Okay. Next, we will move on to variation due to chance causes. What is this chance cause? Chance causes is difficult to be traced or detected. They possess less magnitude. Chance causes may be due to slight vibration in machines, slight variation in raw materials, play between nut and screw, etc. These random causes or these chance causes cannot be detected easily and hence cannot be eliminated economically. Okay, so I have discussed what are all the assignable causes and what are all the chance causes, how they will occur. Okay, these are all discussed. Okay, so assignable causes are due to difference among machines, difference among workers, difference among materials, etc. But the chance causes may be due to slight vibration in machines, slight vibration in raw material, play between nut and screw, etc. Okay. Next, types of measurements. We should know what are all the types of measurements. In SQC, two methods of measuring the product quality are used. Two methods of measuring the product quality are used. First one is the method of variables and the second one is method of attributes. In method of variables, the product quality characteristics is measured actually by means of using precision instruments and recorded. Okay. In the method of variables, the product quality characteristics is measured actually by means of using precision instruments and recorded. The quality characteristics is expressed as a variable. That means the quality characteristics temperature can be expressed in degrees Celsius. The dimension, quality characteristic dimension can be expressed in millimeter. The quality characteristics of mass can be expressed in kilogram, etc. Okay. Variable quality characteristics may have all possible values between upper and lower limit. Okay. The variable quality characteristics may have all possible values between upper limit and lower limit. Okay. What do you mean by this upper limit and lower limit consideration? We can see that in some specifications. That means, for example, if you are taking the diameter of shaft, there will always have a tolerance. That means the shaft diameter will be expressed as 35.5 plus or minus 0.25. This means that the upper specification limit of the given diameter of shaft is 35.75. That means 35.5 plus 0.25 mm. That is 35.75 mm. And the lower specification limit is 35.25 mm. That means 35.5 minus 0.25 mm. So a variability quality characteristics is introduced. Okay. It can be introduced in method of variables. So the diameters in between these limits can be accepted, and if it exceeds the limit, that means the upper limit or the lower limit, we can reject that product. Okay. Next one is method of attributes. In this method, the product quality characteristics is not measured by using precision instruments. Only go and no-go gauges are used. By using go and no-go gauges, the products inspected may be accepted if they are conforming to the specifications, or may be rejected if they are not conforming to the specification. Example, surface finish of a product, appearance of a particle, etc. Okay, so in method of variables, the product quality characteristics is measured actually by means of using precision instruments. But in case of method of attribute, the product quality characteristic is not measured by using precision instruments. Here we are using only go and no go gauges. Okay. Next, control chart. I have already told you that in statistical quality control, some statistical tools and techniques are used. Okay. In this, control chart is a good statistical tool. Okay. Control chart. Control chart is a graphical representation of collected information. It is based on the fact that variability exists in all repetitive process. I have already discussed that variability can be caused due to inherent variability or natural availability and unnatural variability. Okay. So control chart is a graphical representation of collected information. It is based on the fact that variability exists in all repetitive process. The purpose of control chart is to detect the changes in dimensions and to indicate whether the component being manufactured are within the specified tolerance limit or not. Okay. The purpose of control chart are to detect the changes in the dimensions or detect the variability of the process and to indicate whether the component being manufactured are within the specified tolerance limit or not. Okay. Here. Okay. Control charts. Okay. Control charts. In control charts, we have okay, here we can see a control chart. Okay, in control chart we can see an upper control limit, a lower control limit, and an average, and it can be called as CL, control limit. Okay, in control chart there is a central line. Here it is expressed as average. There is a central line. It is also called as CL, control limit. Okay, we can see the CL, that means the central line. It is expressed in as average, and this central line contains on both the ends a control limit. Okay, the control limits may be LCL, that means lower control limit, or UCL, upper control limit. Okay, in control charts there is a central line with a control limit on each side. The central line represents the value around which the measurements will fall randomly. The control limits That means the LCL and UCL are the values between which the measurements made are expected to fall. If an assignable cause of variation occurs, one of the control limits will be exceeded, indicating that there is some problem with the current manufacturing process. Okay, by mathematically constructing control limits at 3 standard deviations, that means plus or minus 3 sigma, we will consider the upper limit as plus 3 sigma and the lower limit as minus 3 sigma. Okay, above and below the average, one can determine what variation is due to chance causes and what variation is due to assignable causes. Eliminating the assignable causes first and then reducing chance causes can improve quality. Okay, so a control chart is used. A control chart is used to detect the changes in dimension and to indicate whether the component being manufactured are within the specified tolerance limit or not. The UCL, the upper critical limit and lower critical limit are there, and we will set the upper critical limit as plus 3 sigma from the central line and lower control limit as minus 3 sigma from the central line. Generally, we are setting a difference of plus or minus 3 sigma in these control limit level. Okay. If any measurement is out of this control limit, we can say that the process is not in control, and we should make necessary arrangements to make the production in a controlled level. Okay, so the control charts are used for finding out the variability, and the variability may be due to assignable causes and chance causes. We can easily eliminate the assignable causes and we can reduce the chance causes, which will help to improve the quality. Okay, types of control charts. Control charts can be classified mainly into two types. That means control charts for variables and control charts for attributes. Control charts for variables are again divided into X bar, mean chart, and R chart. X bar chart and R chart. And control chart for attributes are of two types, that are P and C charts. Okay. Here we are mainly, in this chapter, we are mainly dealing with X bar chart and R chart. X bar chart, it shows the control bar uncontrolled position of the process over the process average. But R chart, it shows the control bar uncontrolled position of the process over the process dispersion. One is focusing on the process average. That means the X bar chart is focusing on the process average, while the R chart is focusing on the process dispersion. Okay, here we can see that an X bar chart. We can see an X bar chart, and we can see the CL control line, and the control line is indicated by the X double bar. Okay, and UCL and LCL are the upper control limit and lower control limit. We should know, or we should decide how to draw this chart. Okay, before before going to draw the chart, we should know that the x-axis indicate the sample number and the y-axis indicates the average x bar. Okay, we can see the R chart. In R chart, sample number is on x-axis and range R is on y-axis. The step 1 for drawing or constructing an X bar or R chart is that step 1 is to collect data required to start inspection. We should collect data. Okay. Second step, we should determine the sample size. We can assign sample size as small letter n. Okay. Determine sample size n. That means number of products per sample. Step 3 is to determine the frequency of taking samples. That means the number of samples. And it can be indicated by capital letter N. So first we are collecting data. Second, we are determining the sample size. That means in each sample, how many products should be taken. That is the sample size. Third step, we are determining the frequency of taking samples. That means we are deciding how many samples should be taken. And it is indicated by the letter capital letter N. Next, fourth step, it is to measure the samples and record the measurements in the data sheet. Okay. The quality characteristics should be measured. We measure the sample means the quality characteristic of the sample. We may measure the diameter. If we are measuring the diameter, we will express or record the data as millimeter or meter or centimeter. Okay. If you are taking the weight, then we will measure the data as kilogram. If we are taking the quality characteristics as a temperature, we will measure or we will collect the data as in degrees Celsius. Okay. So these datas we are considering are variables. It may be x1, x2, x3, etc., xn. Okay. If there are n sample size, small letter n sample size, then x1, x2, etc., xn, suffix n will be small letter n. Okay. So let's move on to the formulas. Okay. For drawing this R chart, we need R1, R2, R3, R4, etc. Okay. So for finding R value, we should take the difference of variables. That means the measured data from the sample. Okay, that means length, kilogram, something. That is the measured variable. So we should take that variable and we should take the maximum value of that variable and minimum value from that sample. From that sample, we are taking, if there are 20 samples, we will measure that 20 products and we'll get the data. That means that data is x1, x2, x3, etc., xn. And we will find out which would be the maximum value and which would be the least value. And we will take the difference of these two values and we will get the range. That means maximum x value minus minimum x value. For the mean chart, we need this x bar 1, x bar 2, x bar 3, etc., x bar n. And for that, we will take the sum of all the data from that sample and we will divide it by the sample size. We will sum all the values and divided it by the sample size. That means x1, x2, x3, etc. xn by n for first sample. Likewise, for second sample, x1, x2, x3, etc. xn divided by n. Third sample, x1, x2, x3. So we will get x1 bar, x2 bar, x3 bar, etc. And we can plot it here. Okay, x1 bar, x2 bar, x3 bar, etc. We can plot it here according to the sample number. Here we are taking n as 7. So 7 samples are there. From that 7 samples, each sample has an x bar value. That means sigma x by n. Here we are plotting that one. Okay. And we got a graph in which we should decide what should be the upper control limit and lower control limit and control limit. Okay. So I am just talking about x1 bar, x2 bar, x3 bar, etc. We got that. And in this case, R1, R2, R3. Here from this formula, that means R is equal to x max minus x minimum. For first set, for second sample, third sample, fourth sample, we will get the R1, R2, R3, etc. Rn. That we plotted here. Okay. Next, we have to plot the central line UCL and LCL. For that, before that, okay, CL. For CL, we should know what is R bar. Here in X bar chart, for CL, we should know what is X double bar. Okay, here the formula is. For the X double bar, we will sum the mean. That means these x1 bar, x2 bar, etc. xn. Okay, these averages are added. Okay, x1 bar, x2 bar, etc. xn. This capital letter n means the number of samples. Okay, it is not the sample size, it is the number of samples. Here we have taken the number of samples as 6. Am I correct? But in the case of X bar chart, we have taken the sample as 7. So this capital letter N denotes in X bar chart 7. In R chart, it is 6. Got it? Okay. Here sigma x, x double bar is sigma x bar divided by capital letter N. N is the sample, number of samples. Okay. We will get x double bar. For R bar, R1 plus R2 plus etc. That means every sample has range. That ranges are added and it is divided by the number of samples. We get R bar. R bar is the central line for R chart and X double bar is the central line for, here R bar is the central line for range R chart, and for X bar chart central line is X double bar. Okay. Next, we should know what is upper control limit and lower control limit. Here we have a formula. In X bar chart, the upper control limit is X double bar plus A2 into R bar. And for R chart, it is D4 into R bar. Okay, central line is X double bar, R bar. And lower control limit, it is X double bar minus A2 into R bar. And in R chart, it is D3 into R bar. These A2, D3, D4 are statistical values. Their values are noted from the statistical sampling tables. From after getting this UCL, CL and LCL, we can plot the mean chart and R chart. If the values are inside the inside or between the upper control limit and lower control limit, the process is in our control. The process is in control. Okay. If any value is out of that UCL or LCL or beyond UCL or beyond LCL, then the process is uncontrollable or the process is not in control. So we should rectify or we should identify the problem and rectify it. Okay. That's it. Okay.